Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Jamie Dawn. I am your professional psychic advisor, success coach, evolutionary revolutionary. I'm so excited to bring this video to you on the full moon eclipse week. Today happens to be July 23rd, 2018. If you hear the noise going on in the background, some group of construction guys have decided to dig up the street and suck out all the shit from pipes or whatever is happening out there. So I debated whether or not to do this video just because of the background noise. So let me just set it up that way. I found it to be appropriate for what's happening for us energetically this week. So I'm going to continue with the video and apologize if it gets a little distracting, but see if you can't hone in on the vibration of my voice and the words that I'm using to clothe my thoughts that I'm going to offer to you, okay? Because it's some good stuff. It's big stuff. So what these guys are doing is reflective of what is happening for a lot of us right now, especially leading up to the full moon on Friday. And we have Mercury going retrograde on Wednesday. Two very strong, powerful, energetic influences in our lives. And with the sun in Leo, Mercury in Leo, we've got the moon going into Aquarius for this full moon eclipse. We're going to be working with speaking our truth and getting it real with ourselves, okay? Because Leo is about our most authentic self. And then this moon being in Aquarius is about how we express our most authentic self in our community, in our groups, in our collective, our friendships. Yeah? So think about this. What do we have to do in order to continue to be our most authentic selves? We got to clean out our stuff. You know, we carry around this shit sack for a long time and we constantly go in and unpack it, and sometimes we use the stuff that's still in there and we pack it with more stuff that we don't need. So this week, it's about cleaning it out. How do we clean it out? We look at what is true. We look at what is useful. We look at what is working or what is not working. What is it that's just collecting dust that every time we look at it, we don't feel anything for it except resentment or discontent, or it's, you know, it's sort of like when I go home and the dishes are piled up in the sink and I'm just like, oh, and they've been, you know, they're starting to crust and all that. Got to clean them up. Yeah. So, Truthtelling week. I've been saying it for a while. It's all coming. So there's going to be conversations, doorways, opportunities that open for us to be able to, got to put our big girl and boy pants on, pull them up, speak truth. Why? Because how can we expect others, our collective, to accept who we really are if they don't even know who we really are? We have to show them. We have to be our most authentic expression. What is that? You know, I approach the world, I tend to approach things in a more serious tone. I'm probably not that person who is going to automatically crack a joke. I'm going to analyze it a little bit. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to take it in. And then maybe I'll do a video, right? So there are a lot of people that I know who, when you first meet them, they're cracking up, they're telling jokes, they're just being silly. That's their expression. It's great. So all that to say, this week provides an opportunity for us to expand, because Jupiter's in Scorpio and it's now direct, to expand our most authentic version of ourselves. And because it is trining Neptune and Pisces, we may be looking at these ideas that we have. Our imaginations and dreams may be activated, that we can pull more information. So if you're asking yourself, well, I don't even know who I am yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. How do I best do this? How do I own who I am if I don't even know what it is? Pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to the quiet moments when information or energy or a message from spirit drops in. Also, there's this beautiful opportunity for us to say, now that I know a little bit more of who I am and where I fit into the collective, how can I use it as a way that is healing, a way that is uplifting, a way that is more kind and more compassionate than ever before. That Jupiter trine Neptune is going to expand our compassion if we allow it. Yeah? And with the sun in Leo ruling the heart, oh, just imagine if we have this beautiful compassion ignited for others and even for ourselves. You've probably heard me say this on my radio show, right? But I'm the first to admit I need greater compassion for myself because I'm screwing up all the time. I was even having this conversation the other day with my parents, and I said, I have to ask forgiveness every single time I open my mouth, it seems like lately. I mean, if I'm not careful, I can just blurt out whatever shows up. And I'm not thinking about how it could affect somebody else. That's where conscious speech comes in. Let's talk real quick about Mercury going retrograde in Leo. And I'm not going to go into the whole Mercury survival guide sort of thing. Mercury retrograde in Leo has a way of pulling in this idea of where we find our most worth. Where do we need to shine? Where do we need to go deep inside of ourselves and say, I matter? And then what's that communication or information that needs to be directed with our will that is in alignment with this higher self, this God, this source, this thing that we want to call universal wisdom? So Mercury retrograde in Leo allows us to go in, tap into that heart space, communicate with the higher self so that we can then become in alignment when we push our will or we take our action out into the world, when we say that my will and thy will is now aligned. I'm loving this Mercury retrograde for us. Yes, we're going to have those moments where communication can go awry, where transportation is affected and the internet and, all these things that can occur during a Mercury retrograde. However, I feel as though this one in particular, we're going to start to have more revelation of our most authentic self, and we're going to start to see what people find worthy. Our values are going to come out, and so it helps us when we're making decisions about where we align. The full moon, releasing, letting go, you may find that a lot of people are going to look at someone or something and say, that's not in alignment with my value anymore. That's not in alignment with my most authentic expression. So, peace, I'm out. Peace out. All right. Some other fun things. You'll notice I decided it was time for a new hairstyle. So, I went to my hairdresser the other day and I said, what's the worst that can happen? It'll grow back if I don't like it. So I'm already sort of activated for this full moon in Aquarius because Aquarius likes to do things a little different, a little eclectic, a little unusual, sort of out of the box thinking. So there you go. There's my full moon Aquarius expression. And I'll leave you with this final little story. So I had an incident with a family member who was wanting me and a few other family members to conform, and it was all done out of fun because that was their way of expressing themselves. They all wanted us to wear the same shirt. And I finally had to, for this particular occasion, so I finally had to tell them, look, I can't do it. It's not in alignment with who I am. One, I never wear this style. And two, I really don't want to look like I am wearing a uniform because that's sort of what it looked like. It separated, believe it or not, trying to make us collective, separated us. And so I was really looking at that and saying, I'm more than happy to do it for a particular cause, but I don't want to do it just because it makes me feel separate. So those are the kind of truth-telling that had to come out. And fortunately, the family members were very gracious. And I reassured them, look, I do love you. It has nothing to do with that. It has more to do, I hope you can be okay, that I have to speak what I need. And they were. And I think that's something else that we have to continue to practice. We have to speak to what we need. We have to speak to and act from that place of sincerity. Because I can tell you, that's the other thing, this full moon, it's going to call out all the insincerities that are happening. So if you think you can bullshit your way through something or in something, try again. I'm telling you, there's going to be some stuff that's going to keep coming up and out. And if it doesn't happen on Friday, don't worry, stay tuned. Full moon eclipses, lunar eclipses tend to carry the energy for many weeks and months afterwards. So even if the whole, full moon seems quiet to you, good. Stay tuned. You may hear, maybe nothing directly affects you. It may be just somebody that you hear about. Watch what happens in our collective. Pay attention to the news. Can you believe everything? No, but you'll have a good idea of the energy and how it's reflective of what's happening. So, like, share, subscribe, comment. Thank you so much for your support. I will be back next week with more video. And don't forget my radio show with my co-host, G. Brian Benson on 12radio.com every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. So for all my East Coast buddies, see you at noon on Thursday. And I look forward to talking more about this full moon and whatever else is coming up. The big word that I'm hearing for the Mercury retrograde, resilient. I want to play with that one. Why don't you guys play with me? Tell me about how you're noticing that resilience is coming in. Are you being resilient? I think there's going to be a lot of that too. All right, you guys, have a fabulous week. You know how to find me, jamiedon.com, 12listen.com. I will talk to you later. Have a great week.